No वाजली बदलायला.
So we are live.
Okay. Good evening, one and all. We have gathered here again for another exciting session of Medical Legal series by Young Ophthalmic Society of India. This is our, ma'am, can you go to the next slide? This is our YOSI legal core team. So we have covered so far 14 topics, which includes consent, Consumer Protection Act, record keeping, indemnity insurance, then how to respond to a legal notice, medical certificates, some medical topics like and conjunctivitis, telemedicine, cataract surgery, ROP, intravitreal anti-VEGF, cataract, mass cataract surgeries, and refractive surgeries related medical legal aspects. Today, in our 15th session, we will be discussing NMC guidelines for ophthalmologist. This is, ma'am, can you go to the next slide? So today is our 15th session in this series. So for this, we have esteemed panelist in this session, Dr. Prakash Marathe sir, who is consultant ophthalmologist at Netra Yogi Eye Clinic, Pune. Sir is also past president of Maharashtra Ophthalmic Society, Pune, and he is member of Legal Affairs and Expert Group Committee AIOS. Sir is also chairman of Maharashtra chapter of ISMS-CS and past managing committee member of AIOS. Sir has also received President Appreciation Award by National IMA headquarters at New Delhi. And also, sir has received President Special Felicitation Award by IMA Maharashtra. Sir is also has received Dr. Asha Kelkar Award by Pune Ophthalmic Society. We welcome you, sir. Next up, we have Dr. Manoj Chandra Mathur, sir. Sir is a senior consultant and glaucoma specialist at Swaroop Eye Center, Hyderabad. Presently, he is the honorary treasurer of the AIOS, past advisor and president of Telangana Ophthalmic Society and Hyderabad Ophthalmologist Association. And sir is a co-chair of Health Insurance and TPA Committee of AIOS. He has been twice member of Managing Committee of AIOS and also served as a member of the Advisory Board of IGO. So we welcome you, sir. So for today's topic, Dr. Anant Deshpande sir has agreed to speak upon. Sir is director and eye surgeon at the Guru Prasad Netra Rangnalaya at Aurangabad. Sir is also chairman of Indian Medicolegal Consulting Services Private Limited. He is also co-chairman of Legal Committee of AIOS. Sir is a faculty of law and visiting professor at Symbiosis Law College, Pune. He is also associated with National Law University, Aurangabad, and Faculty of Management Sciences, VMU, Aurangabad. He has written various books like Legal Aspects in Ophthalmology, to name a few. We welcome you, sir, and thank you for agreeing to speak upon this topic. Over to you, sir, if you can share your...
Thank you. Thank you. I will share the screen now.
Slides are visible, sir.
Oh, yes. So, should I start?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Why to know? The National Medical Commission Regulations Professional Conduct, that is 2023 of 2nd August 2023, when they are suspended by its own notification dated 23rd August 2023, because these regulations were opened and published, but they are again taken back with a resolution or a with on 23rd. Then why we should know them if they are taken out? About me, everything is told. So this is the ethics exercise of the powers confined by Section 27(1). Read with Section the National Medical Commission Act 1919. The National Medical Commission made the changes in regulations relating to the professional conduct of registered medical practitioners, but the NMC itself suspended it by its own notification dated 23rd August 2023. Because with these powers they are having, which the powers they are having, where they have made the notifications and made the changes in the conduct of the NMC rules, but they are again taken back on 23rd. Why? Then we should know them. National Medical Commission Ethics and Medical Registration Board notification, New Delhi, 23rd August 2023. The National Commission Registered Medical Practitioners Professional Conduct Regulations are hereby held in abeyance with immediate effect. If you see the wording of the National Commission, that they have said it is held in abeyance with immediate effect. So they have not cancelled it. They have only suspended it, but any time it can be again used or made applicable. That's why we should know what are the drawbacks, what are the things which are there in the new regulations. That for removal of the doubts, it is clarified that the National Medical Commission Registered Medical Practitioner Professional Conduct Regulation 2023 shall not be operative and effective till further gazette notification on the subject by the National Medical Commission. So they have said that till another notification is there, it will not be active. So there is a lot of confusion was there. So they again cleared it. For removal of the doubts, it is clear that Indian Medical Council Professional Conduct Antiquities and Ethics regulations of 2002 shall come into the force with immediate effect. So they cancelled the rules, regulations which were published and made applicable, and they again it cancelled, not only cancelled, but they said that regulations of 2002 will be applicable. That was the previous rules, regulations and ethics were given, but that's why. But it is in abeyance. Anytime it can be changed. The person, Vipul Agrawal, gone in court, but another important thing has happened which can nullify the above. So another thing is that this person has gone in court. The public interest litigation, that is PIL, he has put in the Honorable Supreme Court is lodged in front of bench of Honorable Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice J.B. Pardiwala, and Justice Manoj Mishra by Krishna Chandra Jain. So the other thing is that even if the NMC doesn't declare that the new ethics will be regularized and will be applicable, but if the Supreme Court decision goes against it, and if they say that the new regulations should be started, again the new regulations will come into the existence, and we should know for that purposes. What is that? What is the new regulations and what were the old? The Supreme Court issued a notice seeing action and guidelines against the medical practitioners, doctors prescribing branded medicines to patients instead of generic drugs. The PIL filed under Article 32 of the Constitution by the RTI activities and environmentalist Krishna Chandra Jain. Why the thing we have to fear? Because the petition also relies upon the judgment of the Rajasthan High Court, because previously the Rajasthan High Court has given a decision in the case that Vijay Mehta in 2011 HCC online Raj, in which observation was made. The High Court made the observation that the right to obtain treatment is intact tactic of Article 21 of the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India, Article 21 says that every person should have a right to get the treatment. Non-compliance with the regulations number 1.5 and 6.3 amounts to professional or ethical misconduct. So the non-compliance of 1.3, 1.5 and 6.3 amounts to professional or ethical misconduct. So they have given the decision in favor what the NMC regulations have now passed. So there is a support of the High Court also. So we should know in detail what they are. We will have to know and have to face, if required, that changes which were suggested in that notification and was made applicable for 23rd August 2023. It was made applicable. Out of those, few important are there. So we cannot discuss all because there are so many. Only few important changes we will be discussing. The short title was that the name was what they given, and they shall come into the force from the date of their publication in the official gazette, that is from August 3, 2023. And this was the day on which they made that it will be applicable. We will discuss only those regulations which are newly introduced or amended, and those which are affecting professionals and its possible remedy. So we are not going to discuss all the ethics or regulations, only those regulations which have been introduced and will be affecting the medical profession. Suffix and modern medicine. Every self-employed RMP shall display the unique registration ID assigned to him, her by EMRB. So they have to give everybody their RMP number, that is a registration number. Ethics and Medical Regulations Board, in this her prescription certificate and money receipt given to the patient. So at every place, that is every prescription, every certificate and the receipt should have the registration number of the RMP. Employed RMP shall get a seal made by the employer for displaying the unique registration number below the RMP signature. If he is not a solo practitioner or he is not a practicing doctor and he is employee, so he will use the seal of his owner. Guidelines for prescription. So the RMP shall display as suffix to his her name only NMC recognized and accredited medical degrees and diplomas. So which are enlisted by the National Commission, that only will be displayed in front of the name of the RMP, and other fellowships and all that which are not written in the NMC record, they will not be displayed in the in the letterhead. RMP shall not claim to be a clinical specialist unless she has a NMC recognized training and qualification in that specific branch of the modern medicine. So the one should have a recognized training or qualification which are there mentioned in the NMC norms. That is more important, and that only he can claim to have specialization. Anything gone wrong?
No, sir, please continue.
Yeah. Guidelines to the RMPs, generic drugs. That was a main problem of the generic drugs. Prescribing drugs with generic, non-proprietary pharmaceutical names only. So this is very difficult. No doctor can remember the pharmaceutical name and their dosage and milligrams and everything. Avoid prescribing branded generic drugs. So this was the instruction. So branded are not to be written by the doctor. That is to be only generic is to be done. So branded generic drugs. So a branded generic drug is one which is manufactured by the drug companies and sold under the different companies' brand names after the patent period is over. So there is a little bit difference. What the doctors or the public or the patient doesn't understand. The patent name is given by the company for their drug, and the patent goes away after a particular period. And when it goes away, the same drug is manufactured by many companies with their brand name, and that brand name one can write. Most of the drugs which are available in the market are branded generic drugs. So they are generic drugs definitely, because they are not the patent drugs, but they are branded. So lot many drugs, the same. Suppose crocin is there. Crocin is named differently with different companies, and so anybody can write the branded name of that crocin. There is no harm in that. These drugs may be less costly than the branded patent version, but considered than the bulk manufacturer generic version of the drug. This is more cheaper than the patented drugs. Okay, we can, if you are not prescribing the patent drugs, you can prescribe the branded generic drugs. That is, when it patent is over and it is manufactured by other companies. Generic medicines versus generic names. Generic name, non-proprietary or approval name of a drug is also known as the generic name of the drug. Non-proprietary name is the name accepted by a competent scientific body, regulatory authority. Generic drugs or medicines. Generic drug is defined as a drug product that is comparable uh, to brand reference listed product in dosage, form, strength, route, and administration, quality and performance, characteristics, and intended use. So it is formed in bulk, so they are cheaper, and it is, there is no overheads as the patent drugs are having, because patent drugs are having the overheads of founding that drug, original drug. And so there is a lot of research, and research expenses goes with the cost of the drug. So generic drugs doesn't have that. The prescribing generic medicines, every RMP should prescribe drugs using generic names, written legally, and prescribe drugs rationally. Remedy, it is very difficult. So what is the remedy? The RMP should start using the electronic media. Sound is something breaking? Yes, sir.
No, sir. Please continue, sir.
Sir, please continue.
Okay. RMP should start using the electronic media. He should feed a relevant record of the patient and prescription of the separate page, which name, qualification, and registration number. So he should have in his computer the prescription itself, so that only he can fill the names of the drug that are also there in the computer, and it is easy to feed them, and then the only printout to be taken. Either the generic name, dosage, and period for which it should be taken, and then below it you can write the brand name of the drug. So generic name is also there and brand name is also there. So there is a choice to the patient which drug is to be purchased, whether he wants generic or the brand. You can write the brand name of the drug. So purchase choice depends on patient to take, print out, sign it, and then give to the patient. So it becomes very easy. Whenever there is a generic name, there is a, also brand name also below that. So the choice is with the patient, and not you have given any dictation to the patient. So that was the attitude of the government, that what the prescription should have. Actually, these things should be there in every prescription of the patient. So generally we don't have this, and it is very difficult to see write everything by the hands. So better to feed it and take the printout. Only you have to fill the blanks. The responsibility of RMP regarding the sale of the drug. RMP shall not run an open shop to all medicines prescribed by RMPs other than himself, or for the sale of medical or surgical appliances. RMP is allowed to sell medication only to his or her own patients. This is the rule made newly. And because RMP can have a shop, but the shop should contain only dispense the drugs which are prescribed by that same doctor. Others' prescription cannot be honored in that shop. This is the rule, and it is very difficult. So now the rules has been changed, but we are discussing what the rules they have made. Drugs prescribed by RMP or brought from the pharmacy of a patient should explicitly state the generic name of the drugs. So other prescriptions will not be honored by the medical shop, which is run by the RMP. The number 35, ethics number 35, RMP and their families must not receive any gifts. Here the say that the RMP and families, the RMP should not receive the gifts was there in old 2002, but in new the families also cannot the gifts, travel facilities, hospitality, cash or money grants from pharmaceutical companies. Okay, it was there also. It was there in the previous rules, or their representatives, commercial healthcare establishments, medical devices, companies, or corporate hospitals. Also, RMPs should not be involved in any third party educational activity like COPD. Now, this is the change which has made by the new regulations, which says the RMP should not be involved in any third-party educational activity. So he cannot attend a conference, he cannot attend a webinar, he cannot attend any educational activity which is supported by the pharmaceutical companies. And which doctor will do it from his own pocket for teaching? It was not possible. So in between, when they were not withdrawn, many conferences were to be cancelled. Even all India level conferences were deciding to cancel their conferences because they have taken the help of the pharmaceutical companies, which involves direct or indirect sponsorship from a pharmaceutical companies or its allied health sectors. Let the IMA, our association, solve this problem. So this problem was solved by our associations and IMAs, and they said that if it is done, education activity will come to zero. Conversion of record in electrical media. Efforts should be made to computerize patients' medical record for quick retrieval and security within 3 years from the date of publication of this regulation. When the new laws, the ethics came, within 3 years, everything is to be computerized. That was a guideline given or the rule given. The RMP shall reassure fully digitized records abiding by the provisions of the IT Act, data protection and privacy laws, or any other applicable laws, rules, and regulations. So he has to do all electrical record keeping and old records to be completed in 3 years. For medical legal purposes, apart from record saving in your computer, see that every paper going out your hospital to patient should be scanned and saved. Because many times what happens in medical legal, whatever goes, your prescription goes and it is not in your record. And with the prescription or the follow-up record, you write anything on the case papers and that goes to the patient, and with that patient paper only the patient goes in the court. So, and you don't have that OPD case paper, and so the doctor comes into trouble. So better to have the scan copy of every record going out of your hospital, form a file for every day, so that whenever the notice comes from the court, you are able to open that file and have a record for that. Otherwise, the court says that you don't keep the record, so we don't believe you, and so the case is lost. So this is very important. Patient goes in litigation with the papers available with him. Court expects documents from us, and at that time, the saved scanned copy comes to the help. Patient care. RMP is free to choose whom he will serve except in case of life-threatening emergency. So there is no choice. The RMP has to attend that. Having accepted a case, the RMP should neither neglect the patient nor withdraw for the case without giving adequate notice to the patient and his family. So unless the notice is given, he cannot stop the treatment. If a change of RMP is needed, for example, the patient needs a procedure to be done by the another RMP, consent should be obtained from the patient himself or his guardian. So wherever if the other doctor is coming and doing the procedure, the consent should be there. The RMP who attends to the patient will be fully accountable for his action. So, and entitled to be appropriate fees. So, whenever he attends the patient, he is responsible for his treatment, and also the results or the bad results or whatever it may happens, he is responsible for that. But actions entitled to appropriate fees, and for that he can charge his appropriate fees also. There is no ban for charging the appropriate fees. RMP can refuse to treat or to continue to treat a patient if the fees as indicated are not paid. So RMP can stop the treatment or can refuse to treat the patient if the fees are not paid. In case of abuse, unruly and violent patients or relatives, the RMP can document and report the behavior and refuse to that the patient, and such patients can be refused by the practitioner. But in emergency, whenever there is a life-threatening, he cannot refuse any patient. Prohibition of fee splitting commissions. So there is a RMP cannot do it. The RMP shall not directly or indirectly participate in any act of division, transfer, assignment, subordination, rebating, splitting, or refunding of any fee for diagnostic, scanning, medical, surgical, or other treatment. These provisions shall apply with equal force to the referring, recommending, or procuring by the RMP of any patient, specimen, or material. So this rule is applicable to everybody, not to the RMP. That is also for the pathology lab. That is also for the imaging centers and diagnostic centers. So neither he can give, nor he can receive. The social media and publicity. This is very important. RMP or any other person, including corporate hospitals, running a maternity home, nursing home, private hospital, rehabilitation centers, or any type of medical training institution, etc., may place announcement in the print, electronic, or social media. But these should not contain anything more than the name of the institute, type of the patient treated or admitted, kind of the doctors and staff training, and other facilities offered and fees on the social media. So these are the regulations, and which regulations in more detail covered in rule number L1 and L2. RMP shall not use online forums or agents for procuring patients. So they can use for training purposes. They can use that forum for educational purposes, but not for procuring the patients. The social media guidelines have been issued for his first time for doctors in India, which lay 11 points under conduct of the RMP on social media regulation 2022. So these that at that time it is been mentioned. Many patients these days go to the doctor after going to a Google search. They are not aware that most of the times what they see on the Google is paid. Many times they search that which doctor is better, which doctor is good, and they go to the where the opinions of the Google are there. But really speaking, that is not the fact. That is the paid remarks which are given in the Google. So one should not get misguided. RMP can provide information and announcement on social media, which is factual and can be verified. So whenever he is announcing anything on the social media, it should be true and it can be verified and found true. RMP is allowed to share educative material for the information and education of the general public. So information purposes for giving medical education, he can put the material on the public media. The doctors should retain from purchasing the likes, followers, or social media. So they should not expect to have likes, or they should not purchase the likes. That is, purchasing the like is also there. If a patient conduct, you should their care or other professional matters through your private or profile. You should indicate that you cannot mix social and professional relationship, and they're appropriate, direct them to your professional profile. So you have to give only advice that you can contact me, and then you should say that the professional profile you should attend. Patient engagement, of course, providing patient privacy is important. Still, you can use social media to answer basic questions about your location, your house, hours, or whom you serve. So, what type of specialist you are? What are your timings that you can have on the social media? If patients have an urgent question, you can direct them to your phone, like or a source patient portal. So if the patient is having questions about his disease, then ask him to contact on the phone or other electronic media, which is personal one. The RMP should not post patients' photographs or scan images on social media. Once an image is posted on social media, it becomes data that is owned by the social media company or the general public. So one should not put it, because it becomes a data. According to the guidelines issued by the NMC, doctors should not post even pictures of the patients on the social media. If anyone shares his treatment procedures on some clinical cases with international specifications through his X handle, seeking their advice, so that is, the patient should be cured his worth. But if it is a personal, that is, X handle is there, and the other people are not able to see that, in that circumstances, where a doctor can send the details of his patient to a person who can give advice, and the patient can be treated better way. So prohibition of endorsement of a doctor or company of the software or any commercial product or article. Prohibition of the RMP individually or as a part of the organization, association, society for recommendations, publicity, certification, trial with his name, signature, or photograph. So anything that is being advertisement with his name, photograph, or signature of any product, any medicine, or any equipment should not be done by the RMP in any form or manner of advertising through all mode of publication of the report. RMP, I means the ophthalmologist here, because all the ophthalmologists are RMP registered medical practitioners. Consulting by the telemedicine, consultation through telemedicine by the registered medical practitioner shall be permissible following the telemedicine practice guidelines. So there are totally different guidelines, telemedicine guidelines. This subject will require space, separate talk, but it is in short. So thank you very much. The telemedicine has its own rules and regulations, and that rules and regulations to be followed, and if not followed, then the same thing happens and the cases can be followed. So these norms are such norms that will affect the doctor too, and it will not allow the doctor to do the practice freely, not will not allow the doctors to gain the knowledge, not allow the doctors to attend the media conferences, and all that restrictions will make us, our knowledge and our profession, too much behind the world. Today we are ahead of the world and we can go back. So the NMC norms were withdrawn, and still we should know it. If it comes, then again we have to observe them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that enlightening talk. You have covered the topic thoroughly. I would like to invite Dr. Prakash Marathe, sir, and Dr. Manoj Mathur, sir, to welcome, sir, to please give their inputs on this topic.
It was a very comprehensive exposition from Dr. Deshpande. Like as he has highlighted, most of the points that were raised, like most of the essence of the things were already existing, which have been further refined. Like earlier, the social media broadcasting was very restrictive, very limited, but now the RMPs are permitted to showcase their facilities in an appropriate way. That is a way forward. The way forward also is a national common registration number, so that it removes the doubts from the minds of everybody. Like every Indian practitioner doctor has a specific registration number. That is also a way forward. And the negative aspects is only one thing what I noticed from the NMC current regulations, that is a strict ban on conference perks and facilities that were provided to the RMPs. Whereas the societies, from the society point of view, societies are not affected. Societies are legally registered under the Registrar of Societies Act and not under NMC regulations. So societies are perfectly justified in collecting donations, registering the movable and immovable properties and all those things. So they come under the Registrar of Societies Act. So the societies can take a donation for education grant or something indirectly, and how that can be transferred to the members of the society is a confusing situation. But a practitioner on his or her own are certainly barred from taking any facility from any pharma company. And mind you, the sponsorships of CMEs, even by a third party aggregate, like now currently what is happening is some agencies have come into vogue. Like the pharmaceutical companies pay lump sum to the agencies, and the agencies hold a CME as a third party promoter, specifying the sponsorship of the company directly or indirectly. Even that is supposed to be banned. So as Dr. Deshpande highlighted very nicely, if all these things are implemented strictly, then the CME activities come to a zero. On one end of the spectrum, the NMC wants to every practitioner to accumulate certain CME credits over a certain period of time to keep their registration active. And on the other end of the spectrum, they are putting so many hurdles and their restrictions to dissuade a practitioner from attending CMEs. What is happening is there are many grassroots doctors who practice in tier 1 small towns and villages and all. They can't be expected to attend national conferences or state conferences, which have a big way, which have a huge, for them, a high registration fee, to have transport charges, to have accommodation. It involves a lot of expenditure. And when the government curtails all these facilities to these doctors, it becomes that much difficult for them to attend CMEs and conferences in major cities to get the mandatory CME credits. That is a point of contention that was brought to the notice of the NMC. And when apart from this, the generic thing, what is happening is, who is to stand guarantee about the product? Like if you write Travoprost, I'm taking an example of travoprost being a glaucoma, this thing. Like if I write travoprost, ultimately the owner shifts to the pharmacist. Pharmacist will promote a particular company which gives him the maximum commission. So what is the NMC trying to get? They are trying to fix the doctor, fix the practitioner, not to prescribe a particular brand, thinking that that particular doctor has some link with that particular company. Now, what is happening? It is shifting commercially to a pharmacist who has absolutely no knowledge about the molecule. He has absolutely no knowledge about the pharmaceutical company of the product of which he is or she is propagating. So it is better that a doctor with their practice, ultimately the onus of the treatment is going to fall on the doctor. So the doctor is the right person, the RMP is the right person to decide which brand or which generic brand or which molecule is better suited for the patient and to prescribe, rather than leaving that job to the pharmacist. If the NMC feels that the doctor is going on a tour, education tour sponsored by a pharma company, tomorrow the pharmacist will go on a tour sponsored by the pharmaceutical company, which is a better evil. So as to say that all these contentious factors were taken into account, and then the NMC rightly decided to keep this in under abeyance and then consult with all relevant parties and then come to a logical conclusion and probably issue a refined circular later on. Thank you, Dr. Deshpande, for your very nice exposition. It covered everything thoroughly. That will be on the YouTube. YOSI should propagate his talk through all channels. Whoever has missed today, that it's a worth saving presentation from Dr. Deshpande. Hats off to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Dr. Marathi, sir, would you like to?
Hello. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm traveling, so there is some connectivity issue. It was wonderful talk by Dr. Deshpande, sir, about National Medical Commission, and very well commented by our friend Manoj Mathur. I think National Medical Commission has made so many rules as a medical profession. And important thing is, suppose they want everything to be written as generic and not the branded one. Why they are giving permission to branded companies to manufacture those drugs then? Government should ban at that level. If at all want to ban those branded, another to doctors and medical profession, but then aggregators not by this particular national medical. Aggregators are trying to take doctors and hospitals and everything on right, and they are becoming the middle agents, and that is to hamper the service.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Your voice is breaking in.
It is breaking voice. Yes.
What Dr. Marathi is trying to emphasize is the role of the aggregators. Now, aggregators, they have a legal standing. They are getting recognized by the agencies for travel facilitators. Like the other day, it was in the news, Pristine is recognized as a travel facilitator. They are acting like middlemen. On one end of the spectrum, NMC wants the doctors not to procure patients by advertising, not to, and on the other hand, they are recognizing these aggregators in between who are knocking off commissions from the RMPs. That is not the way forward. That's what the role of aggregators that Dr. Marathe is trying to emphasize. That also needs to be looked into in detail before the final draft is out.
Yeah, that is true, Dr. Mal.
Kaushik, sir, do you have any question?
Sir, I was somebody asked me what is the current regulations for like updating your documents in Medical Council of India or your state medical council. Like, is there a time by which you should update your documents or degrees after your registration?
Varies from different states to states. In Telangana, probably it is mentioned clearly that once in 5 years we need to renew the registration, and you need to furnish 30 CME credit points, 6 per year. Like if every RMP attends one national conference, you get 8 points. if you make a habit, like what you should do is attend one state society meeting, attend one national AIOS meeting, and probably one city meeting, you are done. Like your 30 points is not a major issue for a practitioner to attain. That is one requirement apart from some, even in Telangana, like they have made it online now. There is no cumbersome things like furnishing these things. You can register online and you can get your renewal done online. So on that front, things are moving on a positive note, and that should not be a hindrance.
It is uniform in all states.
All
It
the
is 5
states.
I
years.
think
30 CMA credits
And 30
in 5
points.
years.
Master Medical Council model has been applied.
Because those are the rules of the national the registration, and the same are observed by the states, all states. And even if you do the renovation
Hello,
at state level, it goes to the national level. Yes, Dr. Marathe, your sound is very much breaking.
He's traveling.
You're traveling.
It is a model which is already running in Maharashtra, and it is Maharashtra Medical Council which apply to National Medical Commission and to all states of country. I wanted to say.
You can close your video and only talk, so it may be clear more. Yes, you can just
Hello?
talk. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Hello?
Now
You
it
are
is very
better now.
nicely
No,
audible.
what I wanted to say, it is
Yeah.
the Maharashtra Medical Council model which is applied to all states in the country for National Medical Commission. About these 6 MMC points every year and 30 points for 5 years. This model is being run by Maharashtra Medical Council since last 10 to 15 years. And the same model is being applied at National Medical Commission. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. True. Now your sound is very nicely being heard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any queries or comments from the audience? Sir, like as of now, this NMC regulation is cancelled, no? So when are we expecting the next this renewed draft of this NMC guidelines?
The thing
When
is
can it
that
come?
though it is suspended, it is not cancelled, it is kept in abeyance. If the Supreme Court gives some judgment in favor or against, the NMC norms may change accordingly that way. And at present, 2002 norms are being applicable. And if the Supreme Court says whatever he says, because the PIR is awaited, and what decision comes of the Supreme Court matters a lot.
Sir, also, do we have the names of the people who played crucial roles in drafting the guidelines? Like, are there any ophthalmologists in this group, or who all are involved in this? Is there a public disclosure about that, the authors of the rule, or like any doctors who might have played a crucial role in drafting that?
Yes, anybody?
I have no idea about it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
think that the
there are
NMC, I think
ophthalmologists
NMC, Dr.
also.
Jagatram is a part of NMC,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is a part of the NMC commission.
Dr. Jagatram was ex officio because he was part of PGI Chandigarh those days.
Okay.
And he was taken from the institute as ex officio for National Medical Commission.
Okay.
But what is happening, the people they are sitting are generally of the old age or old generation. And the main be that they are not understanding the difficulties of the newcomers, because they don't remember when they were newcomers. And so the norms which are drafted are for the people who are already well established and doing good practice and everything. But we should consider to the people who are just coming to the profession, and we are younger people. And from that point of view, it should be suggested and it should be done.
Hello,
What
am I audible?
what the
Yeah.
youngsters can do for the moment is follow all the positive things that the NMC Commission suggested. For example, like even in the 2003 guidelines, it is mentioned that you are supposed to present only the degrees recognized by the NMC. So that is the way forward. Like we see some letterheads say reading 2 lines of degrees that the RMP displays. That should not be done. Under the name, only the recognized degree can be mentioned. For example, like we have ophthalmologists, one of our common ancillary degrees are the fellowships that they do in various institutes. And they get a FACO from AIOS or do a MAMS from American Medical Society of Vienna. So you should not write MS, MAMS, FAICO. You should write MS and be done with it. As is the description of your title under your name and your degree, then you can mention member of American Medical Society Vienna, member fellow of Indian College of Ophthalmologists for FACO, like that. That is permitted, but not that those fellowships should not be mentioned as degrees under your name. That is one thing, positive thing, what the youngsters can follow right from now, because that is going to come, and that is the correct way forward. That is already there in the 2003 guidelines, which may or may not be implemented. So follow such guidelines which are undisputed right from the start of your career.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello.
You
I
are
think
audible.
this draft, most of the times it is copied from Western countries, European countries, and it is not applicable in the country like India. And the people, those who follow this draft and they finalize this, are from the institutes. They don't do their private practice. And elected members are not there in National Medical Commission much more, which were there earlier in Medical Council of India. So that is one of the issues, because the draft is copied and it is for Western countries, and same thing is applicable to India. So that is the problem. So problems in India are not considered in drafting that particular commission.
Dr. Dipanshu, do we have any more questions or queries?
No, in the chat box, there are no more questions, sir. I think you already discussed most of it.
Sir,
Sir, do you have anything more? Anant sir, do you have
Anant sir,
anything?
Yeah. Really speaking, everything was made clear.
Yes.
And if any problems are there, always call me. I am there to clarify.
Before you conclude, Dipanshu, like I would just like to say that some societies, like especially Hyderabad Ophthalmological Association, we are in the process of issuing a notice to the aggregators. Like Pristine, what they are doing here is they are on their website or through the links, they are saying suggested doctors for these particular procedures, and they are taking the names. For example, like if Manoj Chandra Mathur is mentioned on their website, if you click, if anybody online, they go online and they want to get in touch with me, that number goes to the call center of Pristine. And they dissuade the patient. They say, no, that doctor is not out of station, do something like this. We have this following list. We will take care of you. We will send a vehicle to you. You can come. We will take you to the hospital, get you operated, send you back to the hospital. Like that, they are affecting the business. And this list is dynamic. Over a period of time, we have detected that almost 34, 30 to 35 doctors' names were there. Periodically, they change this list. And they steal patients, saying that they put your name there. The moment you clicked on that particular doctor, you want to get in touch with that doctor, that patient is directed to the respective center. So all the YOSI members should be guarded, should be careful about is periodically check out the websites, see if your names are there among on the aggregator sites, bring it to the notice of your respective societies, and implead the societies to take some action or move forward. Let us see what we can do. We are in the process of issuing a legal notice as of now.
So far there are no guidelines for these aggregators, right? from the NMC?
Basically, guidelines. This is illegal. Like you can't put any RMP's name on your website and divert the patient from that link to you. So that is a criminal injustice.
Sir, what if it was like a permission is taken from the RMP and like this is what Practo does. Practo has its own like names of the doctors and it lists the doctor according to the ranking and they says that this is the top 5 retina consultants in Kolkata as of now. Like they are saying, and I know that the consultants they have paid or they are somehow how associated with the organization and this is how it works.
That's what Dr. Deshpande said. All these Google ratings may be paid ratings. So you should be aware of that. And this is also wrong. Like you should.
Yes, I made a case also in that the Google rating, instead of the rating, they started defaming a particular doctor. And if there were about 400, 500 opinions on the Google for particular doctor. And then we given the notice to the Google. And Google said that those people who have put, we have no concern. So we neither can remove them from the Google, nor we can put it on the Google. So the persons who have put, they have to take their own. So we gone to the court then. And court there we pleaded that ask the people who has given the opinion on the Google what record they have attended the doctor or not. Give the notice to all. And then immediately the 1 or 2 people received the notice, everybody taken out from the Google. So all were relations or paid people who given their opinions as a bad opinion. So there was some culprit behind that and who was doing that. So it happened. Unfortunately, everything was clear from the Google and nothing, no bad opinion was there. So this happened for good also. This happens for bad also. Bad reputation of the doctor can be made on the Google, and that everything is nowadays paid. So one should not believe on that and should not run on the opinions of the Google and should consult the doctor accordingly.
Kaushik sir,
Dr.
would you like?
Prakash sir, any comments? Concluding comments, sir?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think it was the fantastic program needed for the young ophthalmologist of India. It is not only practice and scientific material which takes you forward, but you must know the rules and regulations what are being framed for your practice from your state and from your nation. And we have to practice within the rules. Unfortunately, it is true for the medical profession that we have to follow these rules and then practice. And unfortunately, there are no rules for other professionals. They can practice or they can do their job in any way. But okay, whatever is there, you have to follow that. And considering this, I think this webinar was very useful for all the young ophthalmologists of India. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anant sir, for this enlightening talk. It covered almost everything regarding the new NMC guidelines, which actually created so much debate. Thanks, Manoj sir and Prakash sir, who have been with us always and guiding us in our endeavor. We have already crossed 15 webinars on this medical legal issues, which are available online in YouTube, YOSI YouTube channel, and people interested can actually view them. I'll thank the audience also and my teammates, Dr. Dipanshu, Dr. Arti, and Dr. Sayanton. And I'll take permission from Anand sir, Manoj sir, and Dr. Prakash sir to conclude the session. Thank you, sir.
So before
Thank you.
concluding,
And good night to
I wanted
everybody.
to make a small comment. Actually, we recently published a survey which we had conducted last year among Indian ophthalmologists for medical legal aspects. So it has been published in IGO December issue. I'll share it with you all. So if you guys.
Yes, I will like to have that data and conclusions to me. If you can send to me on my
Share it.
WhatsApp or email, I will be happy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Good night. Good
Good
night.
night. Good night, everyone. Good night.